What's up, webheads? It's your boy SpideyQueue. It's Gwensday. It's a little bit gray outside. It was raining for a bit this morning, but it's about 15 degrees outside and pretty. It's time for Next in Queue, so let's get to it. Today I wanted to talk about our homegirl, but I wanted to talk about her in a light that's a little bit different than how I usually talk about her. One of my favorite Spidey stories and one of my favorite Gwen stories happens to be Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Spider-Man Blue. Tim, buddy, absolutely nails the artwork throughout this entire, but we're gonna get to that. The story takes place long after Gwen has passed away. Peter's gone on, he's married, and there's these whole interweaving of stories that are going on, but it takes place around Valentine's Day, and Peter happens to find some old pictures, and he's reminiscing about the time when him and Gwen fell in love. It is so beautifully written. It's very strong and impactful, just the way that it just grabs you with every single panel. It is probably one of my favorite reads to read. If you haven't checked it out, I really suggest you do. It's probably one of the best recounts of a classic tale you'll ever read. But look how damn pretty this artwork is. Again, knocks it so far out of the park, man. It's swimming in one of the rivers. Look how beautiful and just how, for lack of a better term, look at how sexy he draws every single character in this book. The solid coloring of the artwork, all the shading, the way he does all the hues where it's just like a straight blue panel with just black outlining on the spider like you see here. Even this panel that he's got with Flash and Mary Jane right here, it just looks, it's an art style that I'm very familiar with, and it's an art style that if you look closely in the newer Gwen books, it's a little bit of a throwback to this type of style. I love that kind of mid 80s but not really like late 80s type of art style where everything was just solid. I think it's just, ooh, hello. Everything about that art style is solid. I can't say enough about it, and just the way the story flows throughout the thing, it, like I said, it pulls on your heartstrings. Just if you've read the comics, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, sorry, but spoiler alert. You have Peter in another room just getting dressed, and Gwen happens to walk in on him looking as fine as hell. There's this small little exchange when she finds a Valentine, and she asks, you know, I bet you get a lot of these, and Peter, with the Parker luck, is like, well, I wouldn't take that bet. And you can really feel that conversation happening between them, and then the way she's drawn in that panel where she just looks up at him and says, will you be my Valentine, is like, it just really grabs you, and it really pulls you into the story because you really get to feel that love that they have between each. She was Peter's first love, his true love, and when just, I lose my words whenever I talk about it just because it is such a beautiful story. You really have to read it. But that's not even the best part of that book. The best part is in this panel. And when you get to that part of the book and you notice that Mary Jane has been listening the entire time. Essentially what Pete's doing is he's recanting the story into a tape recorder. He's just fleshing out his memories because he just misses her so much. Mary Jane comes up from behind him and Peter gets all flustered and worried, saying, you know, like, I didn't mean for you to hear any of that. It's not what you think, and blah, blah, blah. And Mary Jane, being the absolute dime and the absolute doll that she is, tells him, it's okay. Tell Gwen I miss her too. And some fucking ninja sneaks into the room after, starts cutting up onions, and you're just sobbing like a... I bawled. Legit cried my eyes out at that last scene just because when I read it, you feel it, man. If you've been reading Spidey for as long as I have, and you know those stories, and those stories are locked away so deeply in your heart, when you read this panel, it hits you, and it hits you hard. By far the best story ever written about Spidey, even though it was a one-off and just a little bit of a one-shot, and aptly named because he was feeling blue on that day. It's heart-filled, it's meaningful, and you can really tell that these two guys absolutely love the webhead and the characters in that universe, and they do it absolute justice. So both y'all, absolutely aces in my book. And I want to know what you guys think. If you read the book, if you haven't read the book, if you're pissed that I kind of spoiled it for you, but you should know the end of it anyways, let me know in the comments down below. Always love talking to you guys about this stuff. Why don't we go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you hanging with me, guys. Sorry it was a little bit of a quick one, and if it felt a little run on, my bad. I kind of do these ones unscripted, so you get the natural flow of your boy. But I love taking this time to talk to you guys about everything, especially things that are going on in my mind, and I wanted to talk about this one for a while now, so thanks again. And if you like what you saw today, why don't you go ahead and click that like button, and if you plan on sticking around, why don't you go ahead and subscribe too. If you can think of a couple people who haven't read the book yet, why don't you go ahead and share the video with them and spread some love on the channel. But as always, guys, thanks for hanging. I'm SpideyQueue. Lots more coming from your boys, so as always, stay tuned, y'all.